Radhe Radhe. Today is Saturday, 10th August 2024. And here we are with a new time for our Bhagavad Gita recitation session. And in fact, as the series continues, a new chapter that we launched into as well, the very special chapter 12, Loving Devotion chapter of Bhakti Yog. Along with me, here is Mummy for this recap video.
Radhe Radhe.
I'll bring up the screen. You'll momentarily see the cover slide and then the content that we covered. So again, chapter 12 that we started today and the usual set of 5 verses. So verses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. First up, we'll hear a full rendition of the opening prayer for chapter 12 and these 5 verses. That's by Mummy, and then Mummy will go ahead and also explain 1 or 2 more important Sanskrit words or phrases for us to learn from each verse. And then I'll very briefly explain the crux of each verse, and then we'll hear the rendition one more time by Mummy, and then hear any other comments or remarks. So with that, we'll get started with the chapter 12 opening prayer, and then the first 5 verses.
Oh. श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः भक्ति योगः। अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरम् अव्यक्तम् तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गम् अचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थम् अचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामम् सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति माम् एव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्त आसक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। So now let's see one word from each verse. From verse number 1, we'll see the word satata. Satata means steadfastly. Verse number 2, let's see the word nityayuktaha. Nityayuktaha means always engaged. And then it is very similar to satata. That is steadfast, and this is always engaged. Verse number 3, we'll talk about the word aksharam. Aksharam means the imperishable. Verse number 4, sanniyamya. Sanniyamya means to restrain, restraining the senses. And verse number 5, important word is kleshaha. Kleshaha means tribulations. So over to you, Gagan.
Thank you, Mummy. Let's take a brief look at the essence of each of these verses. So chapter 12, verse 1, as we mentioned in class, each of these verses, as always, they have a catchphrase that we have provided that is to help you understand the real meaning of what the content of that verse is in hopefully a short or easy manner. As a question here, the catchphrase for chapter 12, verse 1 is personal formula. And that is because Arjun has seen the cosmic form of Sri Krishna, as we saw that in chapter 11. He now therefore sets the stage for chapter 12 by asking a question to Sri Krishna: which type of yogi or devotee does Sri Krishna consider to be the highest? So that is, personal formula here. He's asking that from Sri Krishna, and that's going to be answered in the next verse. Of course, what he's asking is those who worship the formless aspect, Brahman form, or those who worship the personal form of God. Therefore, chapter 12, verse 2, we get the answer from Sri Krishna, and that is the catchphrase here, fixed with faith. Sri Krishna says he considered those to be the highest yogis as the ones who fix their mind upon him, upon Sri Krishna, and of course, who love him with devotion and have faith in him. So that is the straightforward answer for chapter 12, verse 2, the question that came up in chapter 12, verse 1. Next up, two verses somewhat connected together. And in fact, all three verses now have catchphrases with alliteration and the first word being absolutely. So chapter 12, verse 3 is absolutely aimed, whereas chapter 12, verse 4 has the catchphrase absolutely attained. So in no way does Sri Krishna reject the worship of those who follow the formless Brahman. So he says to Arjun as a follow-up that yes, those who aim at or worship the formless, the unmanifest, the imperishable, etc., Brahman, they absolutely also attain Sri Krishna. So that's the content for these two verses. But then he adds on in the final verse for today, chapter 12, verse 5, with the catchphrase absolutely arduous. It is exceedingly difficult to follow that path. And in fact, you need a lot of self-effort if you follow that path, which is why, again, Sri Krishna earlier on in chapter 12, today, he stressed and said that those who love him with devotion and faith, those are the ones he considers to be the highest yogis. So again, these last three verses, absolutely aimed at the absolute truth, absolutely attained. Definitely, yes, you attain that, you perfectly and completely attain Sri Krishna. Absolutely arduous, without a doubt, it is exceedingly difficult and arduous. Now, let's listen to a rendition of the chapter 12 opening prayer and the 5 verses once more.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः भक्तियोगः। अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्य अक्षरम् अव्यक्तम् तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गम अचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थम् अचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति माम् एव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्त आसक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। So hope this recap video helps you to practice the first 5 verses of chapter 12 Bhakti Yoga. And notice that all these verses are normal shlokas. So that is why they have 32 syllables, 8 syllables per pada, and they are being sung in Anustup meter. More in our next video. Over to you, Gagan.
Yeah, thank you, Mummy. And yes, indeed, we hope you spend the next few days till we meet to go through this video, go through your notes, and keep practicing, keep chanting, reciting, and learning as you go along. We shall therefore, of course, meet next week, same new time, same place. So that is going to be Saturday, 17th August 2024, 9 p.m. Central Time, Sunday, 18th August 2024, 7:30 a.m. India time. Till then, thank you so much and Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.